Hey everybody, welcome back to the island. I'm Andrew.
I'm Adam.
And we're the Castaway Brothers.
We're actually using the right microphone this time.
Hooray!
And happy May the 4th! Thank you for joining us for the Super Star Wars Mega Podcast Extravaganza Special!
So, Star Wars month.
Shut up! So, I don't know how much we've actually been promoting this on... Well, first of all, Andrew, stop dying.
Sorry?
I don't know how we went...
Do we need to just start all over?
No! We're here!
Okay.
I don't know how much we've been promoting this on social media or how much we've given away, but in honor of May the 4th and Star Wars month, we are going to be doing a podcast every week of this month. Yeah, for some reason I thought
You
I was
meant William Shatner for a second.
For a second, I thought I was leaving something out, and I'm like, do I sound stupid? Yes, but only because I stopped.
So yeah, we try to post podcasts as often as we can. Mm-hmm. We're not always able to because sometimes we're not able to record for a couple weeks at a time, and we aren't able to backlog a whole lot right now. So we record and upload them as often as we can. We'd like to eventually be able to do it once a week, but right now, we're doing the best we can. But we're making sure to record these in advance.
Exactly. We're actually really prepping for this. We've got quite a few little topics planned, mm-hmm. but this one is going to just kind of be our Star Wars in general one, because we have always loved Star Wars.
I mean, we started with A New Hope.
Yeah, I literally grew up with Star Wars.
Yeah.
By the time I
think I got it for Christmas before I was even 10 one year.
What, New Hope?
Uh-huh.
It was
on VHS.
Way before that, because literally as long as I can remember, we had New Hope, Empire, and Return of the Jedi and Phantom Menace on VHS.
Yeah, we had... I don't remember how long, because I know we got Phantom Menace when it came out, when we were young.
And I think it came out in 1999?
Maybe. So, again, still before I was 10.
Yeah.
So I don't remember. Since we can remember, have had Star Wars stuff and watched Star Wars. So we have always loved it. You may or may not have seen some pictures of us on our Instagram with lightsabers and stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully we've definitely had some, but there's we have so many actual lightsabers. We have a few Jedi robes, a few Star Wars blasters at this point.
I have one of those Han Solo ones. It's white and orange that I've been meaning to repaint. Maybe by the time this goes up I have, but I'm not counting on it.
Yeah, no promises.
I'm in the midst of moving right now.
Yeah. But yeah.
So actually, real quick, this is completely unrelated. I just realized I never mentioned this on the podcast because I was actually listening to some of our old stuff a while ago, and I mentioned my fiance.
Oh yeah.
Just to let everybody know, I am no longer engaged to her. We called everything off. I ended that. I am now dating, because this was almost a year ago now. It's getting close. I'm dating Angela now. You've heard her on the Mandalorian episodes, the D&D episodes. She runs our Instagram.
Yeah. Fictional fangirl.
Fictional fangirl. We've done stuff on her YouTube channel for years now. Mm-hmm. Very, very good friend. So, yeah. But I don't know. It's just weird hearing me talk about my fiance.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, not anymore. So, yeah. Anyway, on to Star Wars. Were you about to ask me something?
Nothing important.
Okay.
I had a question that I was gonna. What is your earliest memory of Star Wars?
A New Hope.
Yeah, I guess you would remember that a lot better than me, because I specifically do not remember. I remember seeing Attack of the Clones for the first time, but I do not remember anything earlier than that. Well, not earlier than that. I remember the first time watching any of the other movies. I always kind of.
I don't remember my first time watching any of them, but I still remember in the first house that we lived in Daphne when you were still tiny, watching.
Vague memories.
We would marathon the original trilogy because the rest of them weren't out yet. Mm-hmm. We would marathon that all the time, and we were really bad about fast forwarding to the battle scenes. Which is why our Return of the Jedi, that was our favorite for a long time, was Return of the Jedi. So we'd watch the beginning because Luke and the Sarlacc pit and all of that, and then fast forward, Ewoks!
There was a lot of little dead space if you were a little, 6-year-old then.
We just wanted to see lightsabers and laser guns,
All
man.
that reminds me of
But that ate our tape on the VHS.
Yeah. That reminds me of when I think I was 10. We had a sleepover party for my birthday, and Dad had a projector that we put up on the wall to see. I think it was Attack of the Clones.
I thought it was Phantom Menace. Because I think that was the first time we saw that, because I don't think we saw that one in theaters. I know we saw Attack of the Clones in theaters.
I'm pretty sure it was Attack of the Clones, because I specifically remember the anytime there was a lightsaber fight, all of us would get out of our sleeping bags and get flashlights and all start pretending.
I remember that. I don't know why I thought it was Phantom Menace, because I want to say that's how I first watched Phantom Menace too, was on a projector for a birthday party or something.
It was definitely not that, because I remember being
but not
younger,
that one?
Not that one. At least.
Okay.
Not the one I'm thinking of. Because I remember being younger and watching Phantom Menace on VHS just whenever.
All right.
But yeah, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
That's hard.
Mm-hmm. I didn't mean to completely drop you.
No, you're good. It's just because it has changed so much as I've grown up, and my tastes have changed a bit. My favorite was Return of the Jedi for a long time because of the Ewoks, because I was a small child, and I'm like, teddy bears.
Teddy bears, it has some of the most action.
And I loved the fact that it had 3 different battles happening at the same time towards the end. That was really cool, because there was so much action going on, but different action, so it never felt like the same thing for too long. It was the Battle of Endor and the battle over Endor. And then the lightsaber duel between Darth Vader and Anakin and Luke.
You're not wrong with Darth Vader versus Anakin. You are wrong. Never mind. I was thinking you said Luke versus
No. But it would switch between those, and that was my favorite for a long time. And as I grew up, my tastes changed, and I was like, okay, the Ewoks are cute. They're not as cool. They don't make as much sense as they did when I was a kid when I believed anything.
Right.
I don't know, because I don't love the prequels. I don't hate them either.
The more I've gone on, the more that I tolerate them. Episode 1 is trash. It has really fucking high points.
It's my second favorite of the 3. I prefer middle over the other.
It's still trash, but it's the second favorite.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I think Attack of the Clones, as much as that was my favorite one.
That's the lowest of those.
It's got 2 or 3 cool
It has
moments.
the coolest battle. You see how many Jedi
That's
there
the
are.
only redeeming thing about
and then the clones showing up at the end, and it's okay, these guys are cool. There's a reason clones are your favorites.
Once all the Jedis pull out their lightsaber, from that point on, I think the movie is really cool.
Yeah.
I even
up until that point.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the Yoda fight because they're like it.
Oh, Count Dooku.
Yeah. They don't. It feels like it takes away from his character more than adds to it, because his combat ability was never really in question. It was always, he is the wise master who we assume is immensely powerful with the Force. Maybe not, but he's old and decrepit. He may not be the best fighting it. And so they're like, it feels weird watching him just start muppeting away. But I really liked his fighting style of the jumping around and shit.
It was very it felt very realistic for someone of his size and stature. Yes, I feel like you absolutely would be jumping around and playing against using your small size to your advantage.
Using your weakness as an advantage.
Yeah.
And so I definitely like that, but I don't think it's even really debatable that Episode 3 is the best of the prequels.
Oh yeah, no, that's for sure. I think it has the best storytelling of the 3. Watching Anakin fall to the dark side and become Darth Vader is really well done. I think it has Hayden Christensen's strongest acting in the trilogy, even though he's not in the first one.
I'll say slip-ups to me, but it's still generally everything in that. It's as much as I hate the fucking politics in episodes 1 and 2. In episode 3. Because it's the culmination of all of it, I care about it more, because you get to actually see, this is how he is manipulating everything.
Mm-hmm. How Palpatine has been controlling everything from behind the scenes the entire time.
It's just, and then the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin at the end. Oh my! So one of the best, if not the best, in all of Star Wars.
Oh my god, so good.
Set piece is gorgeous.
I think one of the only lightsaber duels that I like more than that is the Darth Maul fight with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in Episode 1.
Mm-hmm. And that's just because that was the first real lightsaber fight we saw in the prequels, and it showed off the new kendo-inspired choreography, and it really stands out, and it's the first time you hear Duel of the Fates.
Oh my god!
It's basically I think that the Darth Maul fight ran so that the final fight could soar.
Yeah,
it's because it's. I used to not like that they both had the same color lightsaber, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't look as cool, and it's harder to tell who's who. But the more I've gone back and watched it, watching the blues flash against each other against the harsh red background, absolutely stunning and gorgeous. The fall of the clones and just the score whenever Order 66 happens is still hauntingly beautiful.
It is. Like, oh my god. And like seeing the Jedi be betrayed by their most trusted soldiers in this war, it was just heartbreaking too. Because like you see with Obi-Wan and Commander Cody, some of them make like actual friendships and relationships with these clone troopers.
And that's one of my favorite parts about 3 is some of my favorite characters in the entire Star Wars franchise are clones. I love clones. Even before Clone Wars actually gave them character, I was obsessed with them. I had no idea why. I had like a G.I. Joe style like clone trooper. I did! Oh, I loved him. I had Obi-Wan and Anakin. Oh, I loved him so much. He was so cool. Yeah. But it was, I love just, especially even Episode 2, the very classic basic clones. Watching them, whenever we played Battlefront, I almost refused to play as anything but the clones. Yeah, that got a little annoying after a while because I actually like playing as the Stormtroopers just because they look cool and like anybody but the fucking droids. Screw the battle droids. At the very least, I'm glad if it was the Galactic Republic War. I don't remember what it's called. Galactic Civil War. No, the Galactic Civil War. The Clone Wars. Yeah. Don't know what that was. I started to say the Republic and the Trade Federation, or the Separatists. Yeah. And then I realized what you were trying to say when you said the Clone Wars. Yeah. It's like, oh, you mean the generic thing? Yeah. Yeah. Generic name. But basically, I've always loved the clones since the moment they came in. And that's why I think I held Attack the Clones as high as I did when I was younger. But seeing them go from, I don't think you ever heard, the most diverse line you hear from them in Episode 2 is, "We're out of rockets, sir." Because otherwise it's, "Yes, sir. Right away, sir." Yeah. And it's because they're bred to follow orders. I mean, it's better than Roger Roger. I mean, yeah. But it's like, as cool as they are, they don't really have personalities until you see Commander Cody in Episode 3, where he jokes around with Obi-Wan. When he's like, "Save some for me, Cody." Yeah. He's like, "We'll try." I make no promises or something like that. It's like, okay, these feel like actual people. Sir, hold down the lightsaber. You might not want to forget this. Yeah. It's like, these are characters. These are people. These so much fun. While they are clones, they're still clones of a person and not robots. They are not androids. Exactly. And that's why it felt nice for them to actually have some characteristics and personality. Exactly. And so whenever you hear, that's what the haunting thing is to me, is hearing execute Order 66. Yes, sir. And then, without hesitation, turning his blaster on Obi-Wan. Oh, that breaks my heart. And especially watching them more in Clone Wars. I'm not going to get super into it because that'll be an entirely long discussion. It's just watching them have personality and feelings, and some of them are scared of death, and they are soldiers bred for war. And then knowing these people, they're forming bonds with their Jedis, and it's just, they're gonna turn, and it hurts. It's just, I do look back on the prequels with more fondness than I used to, especially after the sequel trilogy. We'll get into that. But I think my favorite is still Return of the Jedi. I don't think it holds up nearly as much as I did when I was a kid. But seeing Jedi Knight Luke, that is probably my favorite character in all of Star Wars. Also, the reveal, the first time we see a lightsaber color other than blue or red, too.
The reveal of the green, beautiful emerald shaped like blade.
Do you know the history behind it?
Yes, I do. I was actually about to bring that up to you.
Go ahead.
Because they were, it was supposed to still be blue because George Lucas only ever wanted the blue and the red for good and the bad.
It was
very
white
cliche.
White hats for good guys, black hats for bad guys in Western
type of thing. Yeah, exactly. But during the Sarlacc pit scene, because they filmed that outside and everything, there's a beautiful, good God, I can't talk, beautiful blue sky, like sapphire sky that day. And in the editing, the blue lightsaber, the blue blade kept getting lost against that blue sky.
Was really hard to
and
see.
So they changed it to green and it stood out so well and it's fucking gorgeous.
It is so beautiful.
It's amazing. I love it so much. And they were just like, yeah, we're keeping that. It's gorgeous.
Now there's the whole rainbow.
I think I have to say my favorite is Empire. Empire Strikes Back.
I actually was going to start talking about Empire. Go ahead, what's your favorite?
Well, and that's almost the stereotypical, like, cliche answer. But it is so... It built upon and improved upon what was already great.
Exactly.
Because Star Wars episode, like, A New Hope was fantastic by itself. And it had a good, nice conclusion. It was a one and done thing. And then George decided to make more, I guess. I don't know the full story behind that.
I used to, but I don't.
But the fact that it picks up a little while later, like it's not right after, but you can tell things have been happening because they're in a new place. The Empire doesn't have the Death Star anymore. They still have these Star Destroyers. And they are striking back against the rebels because of what they did in A New Hope, like the title suggests. And Luke's like, okay, I'm going to have to go find out more about this Force stuff and this Jedi stuff like Ben.
I can't
like
swing
Obi-Wan,
my laser sword anymore and close my eyes and make a wish.
Yeah, like I have to go learn about this if we're going to have any kind of a chance against the Empire. And first off, starting off on Hoth, a snowy planet, which is the whole probe droid was cool, and Han and Chewie checking on that. But then you're like, all right, the Empire's coming. We need to get ready. And so they're getting ready. And all of a sudden, the largest thing, other than like these huge spaceships, but this is on land vehicle we have seen, comes out of the snow. But you see it from a distance, so it's like, okay.
Ooh, that thing's a little big.
It's kind of big. And then you realize they're not getting much smaller. Holy shit. These things are huge and terrifying, and they're using their snow speeders, and like the armor and shields on them are too tough for the blasters on these ships, which granted are like not really even made for like space.
Yeah, they are.
They're snow speeders. They're made. Yeah. But like they are not equipped with the right ships, the right weapons to take on this fight, and they're just trying to survive while they evacuate. And it's terrifying to see what the Empire has at their disposal now, even with their largest weapon gone.
Their biggest weapon, their biggest battle.
Darth Vader's even more terrifying in this because he starts force choking people like willy-nilly.
It's hilarious.
He really starts going off it.
It's hilarious watching the chain of command keep going.
Somebody pisses him off. You're dead. You're Admiral now.
Congrats.
Oh, fuck.
Congrats. Oh.
Congratulations, Admiral. I'm like, uh-huh.
People were like, oh, thank you, sir. Yeah, and I was like, oh, great.
You can see some of them are like, fuck, on their face.
But that was definitely the one I hated as a child. I used to hate Empire Strikes Back. And that's because I was a coward and it scared me. But it was just like...
yeah. It had a darker tone to the movie. I agree. There was something unsettling about that movie to me. It never really scared me, but I didn't like it.
I liked watching the Hoth section, and that's about where I cut it off.
Also the Wampa.
Wampa
was cool. I was just saying it was cool. I like that.
But like anything past that, it was everything felt a little more scary. It was like a little... Well,
Han gets tortured.
I'm talking even before that.
I know, yeah.
But in the third act especially, it's bleak.
It feels hopeless for a long time. You're right.
Because it's like, it is Han... They are repairing the fucking Falcon while Hoth is being attacked. So the entire time, they're limping around.
Like the one ship that would probably be able to stand a chance against the Imperial walkers is out of commission. Yeah. Like maybe that's why I said might.
Yeah. But it's just like, but even like when they run, they have no hyperdrive. When they, or it's not working right. They go into the belly of a space worm. No hyperdrive. They're just trying to land to fix shit, and they can't. And it's terrifying. Mm-hmm. And so it's just one long, oh my God.
Like, give us a break.
Exactly. And I think it was just exhausting, even though I didn't know what was going on as a kid.
No, yeah, like for sure. I will say it introduces one of my favorite characters, Lando Calrissian, Mr. Billy D. Williams himself. He is a legend.
I hated him as a kid. It was the same reason I hated Boromir. You betrayed our main heroes. How dare you?
Right, because we couldn't understand fully what he was going through, and the fact that he didn't have, like, he was saying he didn't have a choice. Yeah. He was saying it wasn't his fault. That's not entirely true. But he really was forced into this situation, was doing his best to get everyone out of it alive.
It was, hey, I have people to look after. I'm sorry.
And then Vader keeps altering things and then starts torturing Han. He's like, this wasn't part of the deal. It's like, the deal has been altered. Pray that I don't alter it further. One of the best lines.
That's it's great because, hey, this isn't...
Also, Boba Fett.
Yeah, this isn't the plan. It was, hey, he's going to take... They're gonna basically, you're just bait, but no harm's gonna come to you guys. He's looking for another guy. I'm sorry, it sucks. I gotta keep that people safe. All right, they're gonna torture Han now. I couldn't. He told me we were doing it, and it's Darth Vader. You say no to him. Who's gonna say no? Like, especially because you've seen.
How do you say no to him and stay alive?
Exactly. You've seen throughout the film people being like, "Hey, I messed up. Dead. No second thought." And so it's like Darth Vader is the one that could. I've altered the deal, and you're like, fuck, I guess you have! But it's really good.
Also, Bespin, the Cloud City on Bespin is really cool. It's just a floating city in the air.
The entire fucking movie has amazing set pieces. Mm-hmm. Just even if it's basic as, hey, snowy planet, that's still fun as hell.
Also, Dagobah.
You
meet Yoda for the first time in this movie.
Yoda for the first time.
Fucking Frank Oz as the voice of Yoda is just iconic. The puppet is amazing.
It's so much
I love that
fun.
He just plays Luke for a fool for a while too. He's like, oh, you're looking for Yoda. I know him. I can show you. And then later on, he's like, wait a minute, you're Yoda. Yep.
And you was an asshole to me. So
Luke is not the nicest person.
That's one thing I actually really like going back is, they're flawed.
Yeah.
Because for a while,
Luke is very impatient, and he's like, I don't give a fuck about this random green freak. Right, I want to find Yoda and train.
Small thing, take me to the powerful warrior.
And then finds out that it is the powerful warrior. He's like, and then
immediately he's sucking up, like, no. Well, not really sucking up, but much more apologetic. And that's why I do like that, because the more I watch, I'm like, Luke is not a perfect character. He's a bit more. That's one of the downfalls of Return of the Jedi, I think, is he is a bit more of a quote-unquote perfect character. He loses a lot of his negative traits. He's a lot more patient. He's a lot more...
He's supposed to have finished his Jedi training and be more like monk-like and be calm and try to negotiate things and be able to think things through a little bit better beforehand, which is, I mean, cool, I guess. But
he does lose his appeal a little bit. Yeah, well, then again, but you do see him give into his anger.
Oh yeah, he still gives into his anger,
which I do really like.
Also, Empire, the fight between Luke and Darth Vader at the end is it one ups like it. Goodness, I'm sorry. So in Episode 4, A New Hope, we see Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight, which is lackluster and was the best they could do at the time with those. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. They had a better budget. They had better effects in Empire, and they step it up, and we see, okay, lightsaber duels can be fucking dope. Like, this is cool. They put more into it. You start seeing things. I think it's the first time you see, like, somebody move something with the Force. Darth Vader throws things at Luke.
The first time you see somebody move something with the Force is Luke in the Wampa Cave.
Still the same movie, though.
Fair, yes. Because up until this one, the Force was a
mental
sixth sense.
Yeah, you could use the mind trick, and you could use it to sense things. You couldn't physically interact with things with the Force.
Push and pull yet.
And then in this one, he pulls the lightsaber to him from the snow in the Wampa Cave, and then Darth Vader is throwing things at him with the Force, and Luke is trying to bat them away with the lightsaber, getting battered.
I also love that fight because he is woefully
wildly outmatched.
And it's like, I do enjoy that because it's, hey, no, this is, Yoda warned you. It's not just, he did really good, but he just couldn't. No, he is not supposed to be there.
He does okay for how little training he has had.
I straight up think Darth Vader is completely holding back.
Oh, absolutely. Because he's still, at the time, I don't think he's trying to kill him. He's trying to get him to join him. He's like, join me and we will rule. Mm-hmm. It is your destiny. We will rule the galaxy together. We will overthrow the Emperor.
Then again, I also think if he was trying to kill him, he'd still be using the same amount of effort. It's like, I don't care. All right, farm boy, let's go.
But it really elevates and shows how much potential Star Wars had for some amazing fights, which we get later on. Well, first, even the second Darth Vader and Luke fight in Return of the Jedi, which is even better than this one.
Even better.
And then which allows for the Darth Maul fight in the prequels and the Anakin and Obi-Wan duel in Revenge of the Sith. And it just paves the way for some of the truly spectacular fight scenes that we have gotten from this franchise.
I do feel like throughout, like up at least through episode 3, each one takes something that was like that they basically just elevate the fights to the next level and make them better. The only one I think doesn't do that is Attack of the Clones. Like that's the first time we ever actually see a Jedi dual wielding, but that's kind of it.
Yeah. It's the first time we see that curved hilt for the lightsaber, which is cool.
Dooku's amazing.
Also, fucking Christopher Lee, man. What a legend. Such a great villain. But yeah, also Empire Strikes Back is the first one to show that, hey, there can still be consequences to our heroes. Like
we can set up a trend of your hand getting cut off.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. But yeah, Luke, nothing happens to our main group other than Obi-Wan dying, but he's supposed to die. He's the old mentor who's going to die and give you the courage to do what's necessary to blow up the big thing.
Yeah, that's almost expected at first.
Yeah. Luke loses a hand, like half an arm. Han gets frozen in carbonite, I almost said kryptonite. In carbonite, shit happens. There are consequences, and these things carry over into Return of the Jedi. And it's like, holy shit. Yeah. Like, there are consequences for what they're doing. Like, this isn't just, they're not just gonna get away unscathed every time.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think that's why Empire is my favorite. Did we talk about why Return of the Jedi is your favorite?
I think so. Just a lot of Luke with the lightsaber is one of my favorite. It has a lot of really fun set pieces. It is, in my opinion, the most fun Star Wars movie.
I kicked the table. I apologize. That all black suit that he has, it's
amazing.
So great. Because the black suit with the green lightsaber, I love that color combination of black and green.
100% amazing.
Which is also why I love Darth Vader so much. Most Sith, because black and red's my another favorite color combination for me. And it's so good. Black and green just looks amazing.
I want to move on to the sequel trilogy.
Okay.
All right. So, I want to first talk about
real quick. So, I want to, if we can, just say what our favorite movie is of each trilogy. Okay. So we've said ours for the original trilogy.
I think we both said ours for the prequel trilogy as well.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith. I actually do enjoy Phantom Menace. I know we talked about this. I love the pod race. That is so much fun.
It has 3 very high moments, and everything else is dead air to me.
I also like some of the new ships that are introduced. We see the battle droids for the first time. It's like, oh wow, okay, well, these aren't even humans.
Yeah.
Now I don't feel bad about them killing people.
Turning comedic devices.
Yeah. The Naboo starfighters are really cool.
I do really like the Naboo starfighters.
But yeah, definitely Revenge of the Sith is just the best, story wise, effects wise. Ewan McGregor wise. Hello there, General Kenobi.
Yeah. And then, what's your favorite of the sequel trilogy?
Force Awakens.
Also, The Force Awakens. Though the more I watch it, Last Jedi is actually starting to get up there for me.
Really?
Yes. I want to talk about Force Awakens, then I'll get to
Okay.
Last Jedi.
I'm curious as to why.
Yeah. But
I've only seen The Last Jedi once in theaters. I don't think I've seen it again since.
I may have seen it twice, but I haven't seen it a lot either.
Yeah.
It's more of conceptual.
Rise of Skywalker was just a letdown.
I'm gonna get into that.
Yeah.
So, like, the biggest complaint most people have with Force Awakens is that it's a repeat of Episode 4, and it's 100% repeat of Episode 4. I understand that.
It does a few things. It does some stuff slightly differently, but I still like it.
I like it the same reason I like Return of the Jedi. It's just fun.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
It's a lot of fun. The characters are really charming. There's enough of a mystery to keep you like questioning. It's lasers in space. That's all I need.
Like they didn't overdo the storytelling with trying to be like, "Whoa, you didn't see this coming" type shit. It was one of those where I didn't have to have a brand new story for it. I didn't feel the need for it. I was able to turn my brain off, and be like, "This is Star Wars. I'm having a good time. Let's fucking do this."
It was like basically because it was the promise of, hey, more Star Wars stories. This one does kind of feel like the original, but hey, we're getting more because
it was a good beginning for a new trilogy. Like A New Hope was a good start to a trilogy. This was used A New Hope a lot, which I get, but it still was a great jumping on point for a brand new trilogy.
Mm-hmm. And I actually want to go ahead and immediately tangent to how it felt whenever we found out new Star Wars were gonna get made. Like, like just because like for a while after Episode 3, like that was it. Then we got the Clone Wars movie, which was trash. And the Clone Wars series, which was very good, but it was still
once we gave it a shot.
That was still it was I liked it from the beginning. It still felt
I
like
still had the taste of the movie in my mouth, so I was like
the movie when I was young, so I was like, cool.
I didn't mind the movie. I still I hate that I love this moment. One of my favorite moments is still like the surrender, you're outnumbered, and the battle droid's just like, wait, 1, 2, 3, and then the ship just destroys them. It's really dumb, but it tickled me so much as a kid because as a child, it's young humor.
It's almost like a fart joke.
It really is, but I fucking loved it.
I still love it.
But the movie is
it's so bad.
It's so bad. There are some good moments.
What we thought was gonna be the last real Star Wars content we ever got. Like that was all right.
Yeah.
And then we found out Disney bought Lucasfilm, and they were making a new trilogy. It was the most like
confusing, conflicted feelings.
Because like that's new Star Wars movies.
New Star Wars, but Disney? But Star Wars, but Disney?
Like, but also
don't make it a musical. I saw people actually being like, "Oh, this is absolutely going to be musical."
Because most people didn't realize that Disney already owned Marvel at the time.
Yeah.
But I do remember it was like, yeah, we bought it and we're gonna make new movies. It's gonna be in about like 6 years. And I died inside. It was rough, but it was the most I do remember, especially the first time I saw that trailer, I almost cried. I specifically remember almost crying in the middle of like I was in college at the time, and it was like
that's right.
The like kind of like basically a cafeteria area. The new trailer came out, and so a friend was showing me, and at the end of the trailer is
the Han. He's like
Han,
Chewie, we're home. And oh my God, my heart!
I almost cried. That was beautiful because they also brought back the original, the 3 for it, technically, because Mark Hamill was in the last minute. But it was. I think a lot of people are way too harsh on Force Awakens because it's fun.
I've seen so many people like there's I won't spit any names. There is a YouTuber that I really like who is a huge Star Wars fan who and he loves the prequels actually, which is that's fine.
I know tons.
But he absolutely hates the new trilogy, and his Force Awakens is his least favorite Star Wars movie because it just copies A New Hope. And I'm like, A New Hope is good. Why wouldn't you want to use the same formula to make sure your first Star Wars movie is good?
And so
the first Star Wars movie in like 20 years. No, I'm exaggerating, but
it was. I do understand where people are coming from when they're like that. It's like, well, the others may be worse stories, This one is worse because it's not its own thing. Like, it didn't even try to be anything new. It was.
I thought it did enough different to be considered something different. It wasn't exactly.
I agree, but I do understand where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so I still think it gets way too bad of a rap, but I would never really like defend it to my dying breath. I'm like, no, it's good. No, it's terrible. All right,
whatever.
That's fair.
Also, casting choices that were made were amazing. Daisy Ridley was fantastic as Rey. John Boyega
is amazing and got way too much shit for all
that.
Like, he had to deal with so much of Disney's bullshit.
I haven't heard much about that.
Basically, like, he hates the movies. He does not like, especially because
I know he was excited to be in Star Wars.
He was ecstatic to be in Star Wars. He was so excited. And then they did jack shit with his character. And so he was kind of just like, yeah, all right, cool, fuck you, Disney.
Yeah.
But he has been very vocal about not disappointment with his stuff. A lot of people started giving Daisy Ridley a lot of shit because her character was Mary Sue, and it's like, I can kind of get where you're coming from with that. She was a little too good at everything immediately.
Yeah.
But that's not on Daisy Ridley. She did an amazing job.
No, she's just acting it. Like, it's the writing that you're upset about for that.
Fucking Adam Driver. Oh, that is the one thing that no matter which movie you're talking about, who you're talking about, everybody loves Kylo. Kylo is
Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron.
Slept on.
Fucking amazing. He was so good. Because you start Force Awakens with him and Kylo Ren coming up to him, not saying a word. And so now Oscar's like, so how are we doing this? You talk first, I talk first. Who talks first? What are we doing? And it's just, you immediately love his character. It's like, okay, he's just the asshole. This is going to be fun.
BB-8's adorable.
I was about to bring up BB-8. The new droid types that we see is fucking great.
I do love him. I think he's really fun. Originally I'm like, oh, it's a thing on a soccer ball, cool. But seeing him through the movie, it's like, all right, you won me. You're adorable. You're a very good R2.
He's a more likable R2, I think, because R2's an asshole.
Yeah. But
also the C-3PO cock block.
Oh my god. C-3PO is, I feel like, the one that didn't need to be there.
But right, cool. Yeah. I feel like it was Anthony Daniels wanting to come back.
I ain't gonna shit on
because I'm pretty sure they did get Anthony Daniels to voice him again. Mm-hmm. He shows up with the red arm for no fucking reason that's gone the next movie.
Mm-hmm. But on to Last Jedi, I think it has a lot of problems. That as much as I actually
one of the biggest problems of the new trilogy is the fact that the directors were trying to undo things that other directors had done. It was almost like a competition trying to like make their Star Wars instead of working together, which was shown can be done in The Mandalorian, by the way.
100%.
Jon Favreau, Bryce Dallas Howard, Taika Waititi showed that they can absolutely work together, make a comprehensive story with different directors and show different directing styles, different types of stories in the same thing and not fight each other with it.
Cohesive story,
and it's fucking
like, oh no, that didn't happen.
Fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. They did not do that with this trilogy.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem.
I don't think Last Jedi did it nearly as much as Rise of Skywalker.
I don't think so.
There's like two things.
It was like blatant, two things that were kind of blatant, like, fuck that. Like, I don't care about that or whatever. Like Rey's parents, essentially. Like, your parents were nobody.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
And
I actually don't mind that though. Because it's like, I like that she could come from a literal no one and still become the most powerful Jedi, like a very powerful Jedi and everything, and the savior. Like, you don't have to have famous connections, famous parents to be able to fully live up to your potential.
Right. And that's like, and because it was never, it never really promised that Rey's parents were going to be somebody important. Like, that was something the fans were all speculating about. And where it's very much like, hey, there's something weird going on in her past. It didn't, like, I still feel like that's a fine, I'm not even going to call it a retcon, but a story choice is like, well, it kind of feels like that. The reason most people were upset about that is because their speculations were wrong. Like, they were speculating for so long about who her parents were. Shut up.
You okay?
I had to burp. Shut up. They were speculating so long about that once it was like they're nobody, it felt a little dirty. But I completely agree, and that's one of the reasons I've come to love Last Jedi is because it killed off Snoke. Who cares who Snoke is? That's not the story here. Kylo is the story.
Kylo is the villain, not Snoke. It doesn't
matter who fucking Rey's parents are.
Rey is
the character.
It was trying to somewhat do, like the way it was set up is trying to do like, well, Kylo is the Darth Vader, and then Snoke was Palpatine.
Exactly.
He was trying to do that, and then this guy was like, there is
Ryan
no Palpatine in
this.
It's like, no, we're not worrying about a bigger bad. Kylo is the villain. Like, let's focus on this. Like, he has made choices. He's sticking to those choices, and now we see. Shut up. Excuse me. Now we see where he goes and where the story goes because of his choices.
Right.
Now that you're pointing out, The Last Jedi is actually not that bad.
First of all, artistically, like some of the shots are gorgeous in Last Jedi.
That throne room scene was really cool.
The scene is amazing. The scene where they're, I think it's after the rebels have escaped from that salt planet, and there's like, it's just a top down of basically Kylo walking in with stormtroopers in almost a flying V formation. It looks gorgeous. The shots are beautiful. A lot of the choices, that's why I've started to like this movie more, is because I respect its, first of all, artistic integrity, and second of all, it's going to make choices. It made choices that I don't agree with some of these choices. That being said, it is doing its own thing and not being like, what do the fans want? That. And so also with Luke, I hate what they did with Luke, but the more I saw it, the guy
it makes sense.
The guy who fucked up everything's like, I'm out. I'm not doing this again.
I messed up enough.
Also, that's the Jedi way at this point. Yoda, Obi-Wan, they fuck up, they run away.
Fair.
But it's like, I enjoy that. All the shit with Rey and Luke, I love. Anything with Kylo and Rey, I love. The biggest sin of this movie is splitting apart its main characters without giving them reason to split apart.
Yeah, like the original trilogy did that, but you never wondered why. Because in they come together in the first movie. That's cool. They're like all together in the beginning of Empire. They split apart because Han and Leia, he's trying to get Leia back to the rendezvous with the rest of the Rebel Alliance and trying to fix the Falcon. He ends up with Lando, all of that. Luke goes, because he's like, hey, I got to go. There's something I got to do. Because Ben was like, hey, go find Yoda. You have to learn how to become a Jedi if you want to have any chance of winning this war. And so he goes and does that. And then they come back. And then he's like, shit, I did come back too early. Yoda was right. I'm going to have to go finish this. I'll meet back up with you when this plan sets in motion. And then they come back together for Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And then split up for a little bit and come back.
Like,
but there's reason, like, well, why isn't Luke here? Why? It's like, oh, he's off training.
Which is why I'm cool with Rey leaving them. She's finding Luke to complete her, to do her Jedi training. That makes sense. The thing that baffles me is that Finn and Poe are not on an adventure together or doing whatever together. And both their stories are stupid.
Yeah.
I don't care about the mutiny. They're fighting fucking stormtroopers. Who cares? The casino planet? Fuck off! Why is Rose here? Why are you introducing a new character when you don't know what to do with your old ones? It's so dumb.
Like, there are several things where it feels like they're copying the format of the original trilogy, because it feels like Rose was meant to be a new person. Like, because at first, Lando almost seemed like he might be like, which it ended up not being this way by the end of that movie. It seemed like he might be another love interest for Leia at first, because he came on strong and she's like, he's charming or whatever, but Han's like, no. Which Luke and Han were both love interests for Leia at first, and then George is like, nah, they're siblings. Yeah.
He planned that from the beginning.
Definitely. So it felt like they were trying to do something like that, another love interest for Finn, but like there were love triangles all over the place in this, and it didn't make sense. Like either that or Rose was supposed to be like a Lando, another character that was supposed to bring in a whole different type of skill set and charisma, but she just didn't. She didn't actually. Don't get me wrong. I love the actress. She did a fantastic job. Kelly Tran.
That's what I was going to pause on, because
but
she got so fucking bullied on social media.
My god, she got so much shit.
Her Twitter because of all the shit she was getting.
The poor woman.
I feel so bad about that.
I'm embarrassed for my fandom for that.
She did absolutely nothing wrong. That was all the script. I hate her character.
That was all writing.
Great. It was
she's
writing.
a fantastic actor.
I think she's Raya in Raya and the Last Dragon.
I think I remember hearing that. She's a good actor. She is. I think she played the character well. The character just had no direction and horrible writing. It's not her fault. But of course, she got all the shit because people don't understand that and just want to be dicks when something is not how they want it. And that poor woman.
Yeah.
She was not written well. There was no reason to bring her in because, when you don't know what your main protagonists are doing and what their journey is, don't bring in more protagonists.
Yeah.
Like that was like the biggest. One of the biggest problems with that for me. I loved the homage to Empire Strikes Back on the Salt Planet though, with the big walker.
Once they came back together, that was fun. It was very cool, and seeing Luke fight off Kylo, only for you to realize he's not actually there. That was cool as hell.
That was so cool.
And especially because if you watch the thing, he doesn't leave footprints.
He doesn't leave footprints or anything.
He never blocks the lightsaber. He's only dodging. And it's so good. I just hate a lot of that movie because it's stupid. Half the movie is wasted. The mutiny is stupid because it's like, why didn't you just tell them? I kind of understand because it's like, hey, we don't know how they're tracking us through light speed. So we can't exactly trust anybody, but that feels like it's a stretch of an explanation. Mm-hmm. Just
also, how do you track someone through light speed? Like, what the fuck?
At that point, I don't care. It's like, all right, cool, they can do that, whatever.
New technology, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not tripping about that. Just give them more of a reason. Like everything just felt forced, and most of it felt bad. I have come around to it more because it was like, no, this is what we are doing. This is what we are sticking to. Mm-hmm. This is what Star Wars is to me, Rian Johnson.
Right. Which was... I respect it.
Like, you know what? You stuck to your guns, and while you didn't necessarily retcon anything out of the first one. You didn't like, oh no, she'd always know where she's been from. She just forgot. Or no, she didn't beat Kylo. It was really Finn, but that was a dream of Rey's. Some stupid shit like that. No, you stuck to it and fucking...
The third one, among other things, like, there's just...
I'm ready to get into Rise of Skywalker. It's terrible.
Huh?
I said, I'm ready to get into Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, no, it's just, like... They changed directors during it, and J.J. Abrams stepped back to do that, and then he was upset because of decisions Rian Johnson made and took that out, like, personally in the movie. And,
it felt spiteful.
I honestly
the entire movie felt spiteful.
It did. Part of me doesn't even want to get into that movie. It's just so
I'm
much.
I'm going to briefly touch on it just because I want to get to happier things. It is a story, it's not a terrible movie. A lot of the third act is kind of fun. But it felt so pandering and so spiteful and so just like, is this what you want? It felt like they listened to the fans, but not in the good way. Like, not like, okay, we understand and we're going to alter a few things to make it like, no, we're giving you exactly what you want. You happy yet? Will you buy our toys? That's exactly what it felt like. And it was like him being like, oh, your parents weren't important. Your grandparents were. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Completely, the entire theme of the last movie is now shocked of anybody can be powerful. It is not
anybody can step up, can rise up and become something great. And then now it's like, oh, no, your grandparents were like and powerful.
You are a Palpatine.
Like that, yeah, it just undercuts the entire theme of the movie.
There are like
and trilogy to that point.
2 good scenes that I like, and one of them makes no goddamn sense, but I understand why it happened. Han's little almost memory force projection talking to Kylo. It makes no sense, but it's beautiful.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
Almost the exact same conversation he had before he got stabbed by Kylo. And because originally that was supposed to be Carrie Fisher. That was supposed to be her Force Ghost talking to him, but they couldn't do
because
that.
she passed away before they could film that.
Also, what's fucking hilarious is in an interview, Harrison Ford was asked, like, do you think that was a memory or a Force Ghost? And he goes, I have no idea what the fucking Force Ghost is. Harrison Ford does not give a fuck about Star Wars, and I kind of love it. Just let him sit.
You can tell he enjoyed being Han again in Force Awakens, I think.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think it was that much.
I think it's the most he'd cared about playing a role in a long time.
Probably.
Just
but
based on the performance.
Everything else felt very, like I said, retconny. Like, oh, why don't we just do the thing that Holdo did? Oh, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Which I kind of get that, why you couldn't just jump through starships again.
Yeah. I did love... while it was weird, it kind of grew on me. The connection between Rey and Kylo,
which
or
was
Ben,
established in the second one.
Yeah, and how where they were able to actually like pull things back and forth, like physically move things, which paid off at the end when she passed the lightsaber. And then he did the Han Solo shrug. Did you see that? And he was just the shrug with the.
Did really like hearing the
fucking Adam Driver, man. I got to give him more compliments. Amazing. Fucking perfect casting choice.
The Jedi talking to him and talking to Rey when she's down, like you are the last.
Oh, the voices, I loved it.
Really good, and that's probably all the compliments I can pay to the movie because it's just.
I loved hearing the voices because you got Liam Neeson in there as Qui-Gon. I believe Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness.
Oh yeah,
as Obi-Wan were fucking amazing.
And then they pulled some fucking.
They pulled Luke again, obviously, and Leia. But Freddie Prinze Jr. as
extended universe ones.
As what's his name?
Kanan
Jarrus. Yeah. Mace Windu was in there. Yoda
Anderson was in there as Ahsoka. I don't 100% remember about that one.
I'm pretty sure she was. Hayden Christensen was in there as Anakin as well. I remember hearing him. Good. Like there were so many cool voices and callbacks in that. It was like, oh my god, it was so beautiful.
It was so.
It was
good.
such a great moment.
But the fact
like you are the Jedi.
Palpatine is my biggest problem with that entire movie. Just because it's like I'm not opposed to. He's not dead. He is one of the most powerful Force users ever. I accept that.
He found a way to, like, because he talked about Darth Plagueis the Wise, who was able to reverse death, or save people from death, and I assume, he was Plagueis' apprentice. He learned how to do that from him, so it makes sense that he would have found a way to preserve himself, even in those extreme situations that he found himself in with Vader.
The fact that he just dropped him. That's my biggest problem. Like this was not.
It didn't build up to him because Snoke was there. No, it was not the plan. It was just like, Palpatine's here now. Fuck you. And it's like why?
Kids fan fiction where it's like, Palpatine's back and he's got like 1 billion Star Destroyers and they're all as powerful as the Death Star. And it's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
It's all of it felt really weird.
There was no reason for any of that.
The last thing I'm going to talk about, just because most of this movie was just a mess that I do not care for.
Yeah.
Is the other one that really fucking rubbed me the wrong way, and that's Finn. Because he did nothing the entire movie except have something he wanted to tell Rey.
And then would never bring it back up afterwards.
I think it was confirmed that he was trying to tell Rey he was Force sensitive. But that's a weird thing to bring up as you're dying.
It's a weird thing. Before we die, I want you to know. It's like, no, you can absolutely bring that up another time.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
But also, they almost set themselves up for greatness. Of him bonding with the chick because she was also a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
It's like, that was amazing if she was inspired by FN 2184. Finn.
Yeah. I was like, that's a lot of numbers for a second.
I don't think 2814 is right. I think that's the.
Oh no, that's 2187. FN 2187, I believe.
All right, close.
I could be wrong.
It's so
that's the Earth sector of the Green Lantern Corps. 2814.
If it was, hey,
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing about that. Go ahead.
If it was, we were inspired by. You are a legend. You are an inspiration that. We don't have to think for them. We can think for ourselves.
Yes.
And that's how they are outnumbered, outmatched. Fucking at the end, don't do it. I
started to sing Hamilton.
I know. But at the end, if it was like, there's 10 Star Destroyers with power equal to the Death Star. That's stupid, but it's not like 1 billion. It's like 10. Cool. If Finn makes his big speech and half the Star Destroyers turn on the other half as he leads a Stormtrooper rebellion.
That would have been so amazing.
Cool. It would make so much of his character worth it. And
gave me a hard on a little bit just thinking about it.
Yes.
You were so enthusiastic about the yes.
But a lot of people were wanting him to be a Jedi, and I'm like, I'm cool with him not being a Jedi. They want
just the fact that a Stormtrooper deserted and rebelled is a great enough story for me.
Character.
And I never really thought he was Force sensitive. I thought it was just, he picked up the lightsaber. And
he had combat training.
He had combat. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. Gets his ass handed to him by Kylo, and then Rey realizes, oh shit, I have Force. Like I am Force sensitive. I could be a Jedi, and then starts fighting Finn. Kylo. Good God.
I didn't hate that Finn ended up being Force sensitive in the way that it's not like I can use the Force, but
it's just like he can kind of sense.
Yeah, he's like I can sense certain things because that's really cool to have a Force sensitive character that's not a Jedi.
Can we go back to The Last Jedi real quick?
Yeah.
Princess Leia surviving space and like that was. Sorry, I just thought about that. I'm like, that was bad.
That was bad. So but at the same time, I think I want to mention Carrie Fisher.
Mm.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that Rey ended up using Leia's lightsaber at one point in Rise of Skywalker. Really? I thought she was. I saw it as her honoring her memory and being like, "This is for you, Leia."
She should have passed it off to Kylo.
No, she absolutely should have.
Whenever she was dual wielding, loved it.
No,
yeah. She should have been different color, but loved it.
But no, she absolutely should have passed it off to Kylo.
And because she passed off the Luke's lightsaber, the Skywalker lightsaber, which was fine because he's a descendant of the Skywalker, but it's like, no, give him his mother's lightsaber.
That would have been so much more impactful.
I think so.
Because I remember in the theater when she handed him the other, I'm like, no, what the fuck are you doing? Give him the other light. Give him his mother's lightsaber. What is wrong with you? I was so mad. I was mad about that. I loved, until that point, I loved her using Leia's lightsaber because Leia had been training her and everything. That was really cool.
It was. I wish it was a different color just to look cooler, but that's whatever.
Was it blue?
It was also blue. She used dual wielding blue. It's like boring. Anyways, but
I like the look of Rey's lightsaber at the end. It looked very true to who she was.
It was because it was made of parts from her staff.
Yes,
and the activation switch was like a ring. That was really cool.
Wasn't it? Was it yellow?
It was yellow, which I don't really care. It's like, oh, that's supposed to be for the temple guard, but also that's never actually been confirmed or shown in the movie, so I don't care.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we have a yellow lightsaber in a movie now, so cool.
Let's see. There was something else I was going to bring up.
I do have a question whenever you're ready.
Okay, yeah, I think I just wanted to talk about just
Carrie Fisher. Yeah, go for it.
Just because it's heartbreaking. And like, I hate that they kept...
She was such an inspiration to so many young women.
And there's a quote from Mark Hamill that I love. He's like, she may be gone, but I like to think that she's watching over me, looking down and lovingly extending the middle finger to me.
I love Mark Hamill, first off.
Oh my God,
I loved Carrie Fisher. They had such a good chemistry and relationship.
Had to keep getting CG'd because she was still in like the movies or whatever. Like they had to keep using old B-roll footage and stuff, like alternate takes and stuff like that. Because she wasn't dead in the movies yet, and they had to keep her going.
Which is why I thought when she passed, I wish they had gone back and reshot some of Last Jedi, because that came out, she passed away before Last Jedi came out. Mm-hmm. I wish they had gone back and redone that where she actually had died in space, and then Luke could have died in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, it would have still worked, I think.
I think so. They could have just done some reshoots. Of course, I don't know how much of that. I don't know how much of Rise of Skywalker they had already shot. It may have already been done.
But I do specifically remember us hearing she passed away the day after we saw Rogue One.
Oh my God, that's right, because we just seen the young Carrie Fisher CG in that. So sad. She was so great, though. You can tell she loved playing Princess Leia. Yeah. She loved the role. She loved the Star Wars universe, just like Mark Hamill. Mm-hmm. He loves playing Luke. It was easy to believe that they were siblings too. They played it once that part was established. They played it really well. Yeah. But I mean, even in the first two, they had good chemistry together. They worked well together. Mm-hmm. I loved seeing them on screen together. It was fantastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like you said, like Mark Hamill's amazing, and that I think is going to be like weird topic, but I think like the next celebrity death that's going to crush me to my core, because I think the last one was Adam West. The next one is going to be Mark Hamill. I will be broken.
I would love, dream guest on the podcast, Mark Hamill.
Oh my
that
God,
would be amazing.
That'd be amazing.
Will probably never happen.
Absolutely not.
But he just seems...
I just love to talk to him.
Right? He just seems like a chill, fun guy.
So cool. It's not... as somebody who's done...
He's also the Joker.
He has one of the most impressive resumes in all of Hollywood. And he was so... He seems like he is so... He could be up his own ass so far, and he seems the most. He seems like just a humble, down to earth, look, man, I just do voices for a living, and I was Luke Skywalker. Yeah, it's fun, but I'm still just a guy. I will absolutely geek out with you about stuff, and it's like you're so cool. He's so cool.
And he's so respectful too, because I remember in an interview, I don't remember when, but I saw it was on YouTube years after it had already come out. But somebody asked him, how would his Joker have said? Why so serious? Basically just trying to get him to say why so serious in his thing. But he was like, well, you have to understand it's completely different performances for completely different universes. And was seeing like there will never be another Joker like Heath Ledger. And he's right, because that is that Joker. There will never be another Joker performance like that. There's never another Batman universe like that. It was amazing. He was praising that. And so he's like, you can't really compare the two because they're so different, and all this stuff, just respecting Heath Ledger's performance so much. And he's just a really respectful guy. They're like, basically, I just wanted you to say why so serious, and your Joker was like, oh, why so serious, Batman?
Oh, got it.
And he's like, oh, okay. But it was great. But he was just so respectful. Like, I don't want to compare my Joker to that Joker because they're so different. He was such an iconic Joker.
Exactly.
While mine was great. His is also so great. I don't want to compare like, well, mine's better in this way, but his is better. Like, no. Yeah. And I'm like, you're such a cool, chill, great guy.
But anyways, back to Star Wars. You said you had something.
I do. We're gonna go just a little more happy.
Got it.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but a lot of our viewers, however many, 20 or however many we have, I don't know. Well, we average like 15 views on YouTube. We're still on YouTube.
5 of them are me.
Which, real quick, speaking of YouTube, guys, exciting news, which you would have heard
last podcast on the Monster Hunter.
Last one we recorded. Right. We'll probably keep saying this, but we are now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're on the Podbean app.
Are we on Pandora as well?
Unclear.
Okay.
Because we did the thing, and I haven't heard back from Pandora.
Neat.
So I don't know if we're on there or not. I also don't know how to check on Pandora
Biggest
or not.
ones, iTunes and Spotify.
Yeah, we are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Holy crap. Please, I'll get into that later. Never mind. Yeah. Just wanted to shout that out real quick. It's awesome. Hopefully by the time this podcast comes up, we'll have a Twitter.
Hopefully. I'm going to work on that soon, but no promises.
Cool. Anyway, okay. Who is your favorite Jedi?
I think I already touched on this with it being Luke, Jedi Knight Luke, because he's one of my favorite in all the Star Wars universe.
I thought it was Kit Fisto.
Fuck. Yeah.
You actually shocked me on that one. I was like, wait a minute.
Prequel-wise, it's Kit Fisto.
Okay.
Overall, it may be Jedi Knight Luke.
Okay.
It's just, I do really like, I love both. Basically, if you have a green lightsaber, I'm a big fan of you.
Yeah. Basically.
But no, I loved Kit Fisto as a kid. It was, I think that's because we like to play pretend with Star Wars.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't like using characters I really knew because I'm like, it feels weird, and I'm like, would they actually do this? And so Kit Fisto was a good little insert for me.
He's also really cool. Like when I learned more about him.
I think he's voiced by Phil Lamar in the Clone Wars.
Really?
I'm 90% sure.
I've met Phil Lamar.
Oh yeah,
at Fanaticon in Dothan 2019, before the pandemic. He was there. Also, I don't remember her name, but the voice of Naruto was there too. I can't remember her name now.
I used to know her name, but I don't remember.
And I think the voice of Squidward.
Roger Bumpus?
I think so. Yeah.
Something like that.
But Phil Lamar was there, and I actually got to meet him and take a picture with him, and I was just like, thank you so much for everything that you've done. You have been such an inspiration to me. I am interested, I'm working on getting into voice acting, and because I was at the time, and that hasn't really gone anywhere, but still hope. But I was like, you've been just such an inspiration to so many people. You were such a huge part of my childhood.
Right.
Static Shock, Green Lantern, just to name a few. You were such an icon. Thank you for what you've done and bringing so much joy into the world. And he just had a huge smile. I was like, thank you. That means so much. That is very sweet. He was just so chill and so cool. And I was like, you're so cool.
But I love Kit Fisto, and I will
somewhere on my Instagram, I think there is a pic. I don't know if I put it on my Instagram, but somewhere there's a picture of me with Phil LaMarr and Angela.
Yeah. But I will never get over how Kit Fisto died. It's the
oh my god.
I'm still salty about it.
Yeah.
But anyways. What about you, Baby Jedi?
Oh, that's hard. It might be Jedi Knight Luke too. Qui-Gon Jinn is up there for me as well. I love more of what I've read of him since. You don't see a lot of him in the movie, but he's pretty cool. Liam Neeson's just great. Yeah. Mace Windu is up there.
And honestly, Obi-Wan.
But because Qui-Gon was really pushing for like being able to have like relationships and different and like love and not just shutting off emotions like they were and everything, because he realized that they had gone too far with that. I keep kicking the thing. I'm sorry. And was a real advocate. And Kit Fisto actually ended up being an advocate of marriage and everything as well. But Qui-Gon was one of the first to realize we've become too content and overconfident in ourselves and where we are, and the whole we have to be careful or it's going to catch up to us. And nobody listened to him.
The history of the Jedi.
And nobody listened to him. And then, lo and behold, Palpatine was pulling the strings of everything from behind the scenes, and they never realized he was there because they were so sure of themselves at one point. Exactly. So I really like Qui-Gon, which is why he was like, no, we need to train Anakin. But then Obi-Wan, not really wanting to train Anakin at first, agrees to train him. And Anakin didn't get the proper train. I think Qui-Gon would have.
Qui-Gon wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. Qui-Gon would have trained him in a way that would have fit his personality better, where his anger would not have overtaken him and he wouldn't have fallen to the dark side. Probably.
Like, it's fine to be angry. Do not let it affect your.
Also, decision. I really like Qui-Gon's lightsaber hilt. Like it's very like sleek. It's not like flashy, but it's got like a lot of black. It's almost like squared.
Yeah,
it's cool. I like it.
All right, who is your favorite non-Jedi Star Wars character?
That's a good question. Does it have to be a good guy?
No.
That made it harder. Do you know yours?
Absolutely.
As
long as extended universe is allowed. Captain Rex. 100%.
That's canon.
Yeah, it's right in that little weird bit that it's like, while it's canon, he's never in a movie, and some people consider that non-canon, but it is technically part of the canon.
Well, no, it is part of the canon, so I will, that's absolutely, like, Captain Rex is fucking amazing. Ahsoka's up there for me in Jedi too.
Same, she's up there with me too,
yeah. Because she's not technically a Jedi.
It's
she never became a full
Jedi. It's tough competition.
I mean, yeah.
But Captain Rex, I already loved clones. The Clone Wars series really re-sparked my interest in them. And Captain Rex is the best of the best. I still have a keychain of him somewhere.
Really?
Yes, I think
I forgot about that.
I got it when I was like in 7th grade, maybe 6th, along with a T-shirt of the Clone Wars stuff.
That's right.
I almost never wore it because I immediately became embarrassed about it. I don't know why.
Well, because it was still at that point where nerd culture wasn't cool. It had not permeated pop culture.
Right, and I was also becoming very conscious of how
introverted?
Well, no, conscious of my of people, how people saw me.
Yeah.
But I wish I had that shirt so it fit me because I'd wear the hell out of it. But I love Rex. Rex is amazing. He's the best clone, and clones are amazing. But yeah, what about you? Didn't give you enough time, did I?
I was too distracted by your conversation about Rex to make up my mind.
All right, rapid fire review then.
Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, because they're just badasses. I love them. Chewbacca.
Chewbacca's fun.
Fucking dude, I don't know. Cad Bane.
Cad Bane is so cool.
Is dope.
I'm a fan of most bounty hunters, but and only recently have I really become a fan of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
But Cad Bane has been up there since I saw him. His design is amazing. He's intimidating. He's effective. He is so good. For those that don't know, Cad Bane is a bounty hunter on the Clone Wars TV series that he's like basically blue skin, red eyes with a
like a cowboy hat.
I recommend looking up a picture of him.
He's dope.
He is so
like he
cool.
looks like an old west gunslinger in the Star Wars universe.
Kind of talks like it too.
Yeah, he's so cool.
The first outing, he takes fucking basically almost half the Senate hostage.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
So those would probably be some of my top ones.
I think to close out the podcast, how do you think?
I have a question real quick before we close out. Who is your favorite fighter pilot in Star Wars? I actually have mine already.
It's not Anakin, because as much as he's like, "Oh, I'm the best pilot," you never see it. You barely see it in episode 3. He's lucky in episode 1. Let's see. I really do like Poe. Poe is really fun to watch.
Luke is a pretty good pilot.
I like Luke.
Poe is a great pilot. I love Poe, but he's actually not my favorite.
Because I can't think of a ton right now, I'm gonna say Poe.
Okay.
But yeah.
Mine is Wedge Antilles.
Wedge. I was considering him, but I think I was gonna
He is the only pilot besides Luke, really, that you see through the entire original trilogy. Mm-hmm. He lasts all that long. And when all the people from all over the universe come in Rise of Skywalker, when Lando leads that, which is fucking awesome. Wedge is right there next to him leading. So he's still kicking ass.
Super fan servicey, but I loved it.
I loved it. He was still flying the X-Wing like nobody's business. Mm-hmm. I love Wedge Antilles. He also shows up in the story of Star Wars Squadrons.
I forgot about that.
Wedge is a boss. I love Wedge. Mm-hmm. So he is my favorite pilot. Like I think he and Poe are the first ones that come to mind when I think of especially X-Wing pilots, but pilots in Star Wars. One,
but his fighter, he was there and got a good shot. I don't ever think of him as an excellent
pilot. He cheated
pilot.
with the Force.
He kind of cheated
with the Force. He didn't. I mean, he's a decent pilot. I don't think of him as a great fighter pilot. Exactly, he's good at flying. I don't see he never seems to be that great at like fighting, like dog fighting.
I would kind of say the exact same thing with Anakin. He can pull off some really cool maneuvers, but like I don't see him as a menace.
I think he was just a better racer.
Yeah. Final thing to close out the podcast is, how do you think growing up with Star Wars kind of affected how interest and kind of how we turned out? Like, because I'm actually willing to...
I was not ready for that question.
100% attribute our love of superheroes being attributed to Star Wars.
I could see that. Absolutely, because like the Force powers and everything.
It is a lot of...
that and I also grew up with Batman.
Yeah.
Because I was watching Star Wars and Batman about the same time, so...
But a lot, especially for more superpowered beings, that the Force is essentially telekinesis.
Oh, yeah.
And it's...
or telepathy, depending on how you use it.
Heroes with weaponry, like like Tim Drake with his staff, you love.
I love
and
Tim
I think
Drake.
Just having an iconic weapon like a lightsaber helps us with superheroes more. The more iconic you have of a weapon, the more we love you. Especially if it's like, I don't know, laser sword.
Yeah. I think it helped spark the interest of like Westerns for us as well. Because when you think about it, Han Solo, space cowboy.
Absolutely, space cowboy.
That's part of the reason I love Firefly so much is because of Star Wars. Because like gunslingers, Cowboy Bebop, just the gunslinger stereotype and everything, I think comes from my love of Star Wars. I think my love of aircraft, like I'm very airplanes intrigues me. It comes from Star Wars. I've
always been so intrigued in fighter jets.
Yes,
and I never knew why until this exact second.
Really?
Yeah, no, it never clicked. But that's probably exactly
and just sci-fi in general, just space stuff.
In general, because
I've been meaning to actually go check out Star Trek because I've watched like an episode of the original and like it was okay, but it was also the first episode. So
I've also heard the Next Generation is the way to go.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get into the Next Generation and watch that, and because that's like one of, if not the best Star Trek series, and that's a good place to get in. So I'm still trying to do that. Because I've always been Star Wars, not a Trekkie. Not that I used to be like, well, no, I'm Star Wars. I can't like Star Trek, and now I'm like, I can like whatever the fuck I want. Like, let me see if I like it or not.
Watch Star Trek.
Yeah. So I think it really has influenced a lot on our lives.
Yeah, because I definitely think, especially with how
even with D&D, because we'll still try to do like flips over people and like cut people in half,
gosh,
like over
so many flourishes and stuff. But I also think that even how much Star Wars has permeated pop culture, it's affected things outside of us, like different things that we end up liking. So because Star Wars has become, as much as it was very nerd culture, it has become incredibly mainstream.
Oh yeah, I think even like melee combat.
Yeah,
gotten us, like sword fighting and everything.
Spears, axes. That's probably where my love of some of like the medieval weaponry comes from.
It helps for sure.
But yeah,
it has a much bigger influence on us than you realize until you sit and think about it.
Like the fighter pilot, I didn't even think about that. That makes
and Legos.
I mean, yeah, we grew up with Lego Star Wars sets.
Yep.
We had like 5 of that sand skiff from.
Oh Jesus!
From Tatooine.
We had so many Lukes from that set.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah, but I think it's gonna wrap it up for today.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. And like we said, this is the Super Star Wars Mega Podcast Extravaganza Special. So stay tuned for next week. We got another one coming. Do we want to go ahead and announce what it is?
We can.
All right.
If you'd like to.
I believe it is going to be where we both made a list
of our top 5 Star Wars ships or vehicles in general. Not counting the Death Star, because it is.
I don't think
it's a station. You just put ships in it.
Your list, but generally I don't have any troop transports. So nothing like a Star Destroyer or like like the Venator from Clone Wars.
Is that the gunship thing?
No. The Venator is basically the
flagship.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Where they dock their ships. Their gunships. I forgot about.
You have to alter your list real quick.
Anyways, guys.
Once again, we are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It only takes a quick second, and it really helps us out. And it doesn't cost a thing. Go on Apple Podcasts, give us a rating and a review. It would really help us out in the algorithm and help other people find us. And it's just a good way to support us without having to, spend any money, especially since we don't have any way for you to support us financially right now. But we would really appreciate it so much. Do we want to, we're going to decide this right now on the air, folks. Here you go. Do we want to, if they give us a 5-star review, read the review on an episode?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I love when podcasts have done that with my reviews.
Yeah.
So leave us a 5-star review, write whatever you want, whether it's good or bad. We will read it on the air and give you a shout out. So please help us help you.
Yeah, sure.
That's how I'm putting it, and that's what we're going with. Anything else you want to add?
No, just thank you for listening, and happy Star Wars Month.
Yeah, happy Star Wars Month, everybody.
In the meantime,
may the Force be with you. We love you. Stay weird, and we'll see you next time.